Hello everybody, welcome back to another light novel review. Today I'm talking about volume number 6 in Jin's light novel series, Kagerou Daze. Now in this one we start off with character Shintaro, who is of course the main character from volume number 1 and has been sort of a mainish character throughout the other volumes. He finds himself in this very strange sort of featureless room. He doesn't really recall how he got there or what he's even been doing in this room. But then he finds himself summoned by a mysterious voice. And he moves forward and ends up at the side of his upperclassman, Haruka. Haruka says that, there's been some things going on and he wants to try and explain it all to Shintaro. The only weird thing about all of this is that Haruka's been dead for years. Now this book makes it sound like it's going to provide a whole bunch of answers to just what has been going on in this series so far. And I have to honestly say that while it delivers some answers, it certainly does not go out of its way to provide all of them. In fact, by the end of this, I'd say that maybe 10% of the mysteries had been sort of solved with this. One particular one very clearly. I won't say because I don't want to spoil it. The interesting thing about this volume is that it is essentially a retelling of volume number 2, A Headphone Actor. But in this case, it's being told from Haruka's point of view. Now, you may think that seems kind of boring, or kind of ask yourself, how can this reveal a whole bunch of new information if we're just retreading a story we've already gone through? But in this particular case, it kind of does a bunch of different things. It may not really help with the overall mystery of the Kagerou Daze in terms of what exactly is going on, but it does clear up a couple of things, certainly character-wise. First of all, it goes to a further length of showing how all of these characters seem to be arranging themselves around Ayano, the daughter of Tateyama, who is the teacher of Takane and Haruka, and we also realize kind of maybe ties into some other stuff too. But it shows how all of these characters that we've been following for these 6 books are all really kind of interrelated to each other and tightly knit to each other, and their fates and their stories seem sort of all intertwined with each other. And this one goes a lot further, I would say, to showing us how even more of those connections are made between these individual characters. And it also sort of solves something for me, like with Shintaro, when we started off Kagerou Daze, he was a shut-in. And we've been kind of led to believe that a lot of the reason that he's a shut-in is because of the supposed death of Ayano. Now, what this one does, and in A Headphone Actor, when we meet Shintaro in that one, he seems like a really sullen ass. Like, he just seems like such a jerk. And yet he doesn't really seem to be that bad a dude when we join him in volume 1 of Kagerou Daze. I would say this volume goes a long way to kind of explaining, A, why Shintaro is a bit different, how his personality kind of evolves and changes in a lot of ways because of his friendship with Haruka. But I would say that it also goes to explain even more why this kid became a shut-in, because not only does he lose Ayano, as far as we know, but we also know that Haruka has this terminal disease. And so for a kid like Shintaro, where he doesn't seem to have a lot of friends, and then the people that are very, very the closest to him suddenly die within close proximity, it makes it a little clear why this kid would decide to turn his back on the world. And in some ways even sort of shut things out. Like, we're kind of led to believe in this volume, with the way that Haruka says that he wants to tell Shintaro his story again. It seems to me that it's suggesting that Shintaro has sort of purposely blocked out certain things, that he has, in his shut-in hikikomori sort of situation, he has intentionally eliminated memories of what has happened in his past. So I have to say I really liked this volume. Kagerou Daze in general, I've liked the books. Every now and then I've had mixed feelings, particularly when the book does something where they have multiple stories in the book. In this one, pretty much the entire thing, other than Shintaro's initial waking up and kind of being disoriented and stuff, other than that sort of prologue bit, the whole book is just Haruka's story. So the book is sort of, it feels less disjointed because it's one sort of continuous story. It's also focusing a lot more on that sort of school life, slice of life type situation, which I thought went really well in a headphone actor. Like, if you go back to my Volume 2 review, I really liked that actual aspect of it. And I kind of liked the thorniness of Takane's character. And in this one, having these events told by Haruka, who is this really nice, just genuinely nice, easygoing, considerate kid who knows he's kind of living on borrowed time, it changes the tone of this a lot, and we see characters, because we're seeing it through this more kinder, gentler character, we see characters, I would say, in a slightly different light. And it's interesting to see sort of his own feelings towards individuals awakening, particularly with Takane, and we already know that from Volume 2, so it's really not a spoiler. But there are certainly little bits of surprises, things that you wouldn't have known, that you sort of didn't know when you were reading Volume 2, that suddenly give you kind of aha moments in this one, because now, of course, we're getting more of the story, we're seeing sort of the other side of the story. In general, I'd say that Kagerou Daze works best when it tells these kind of character-driven stories and is focusing on character relationships. There are, like I said, a little bit of reveals that kind of make clearer what's been going on, in particular towards this one mysterious character that we have already been told reminds people a bit of Haruka. So there are definitely some reveals. Are they substantial? Do I think this series could actually be ended in one book? Because there's no Volume 8 in Japan so far. Although that said, volumes, between these couple of volumes, I think it was 5, 6, and 7 in Japan, there was almost a year. And Volume 7 came out less than a year ago in Japan. So there may still be more. One of you told me that you had read somewhere that the author stated it would be 8 volumes. So that's good, because unless Volume 7 is a lot bigger than these ones and gives us massive reveals all after the other, there's still a lot of mystery left in this one. But in general, Volume number 6 I found really satisfying. As I said, it focused a lot more on that sort of school life, slice of life stuff that I think Kagerou Daze has done really well with in the past. And it's just building on this sort of unique cast of characters and how their lives have all sort of interrelated to each other, making you think that the stuff that's happening in the present day, it really does seem more of like a fate type thing as opposed to just random type events. So, Kagerou Daze, it continues to be more of a slightly unique type light novel compared to some of the other ones that we've got. It's really hard to categorize really what's going on in this book. I am looking forward to seeing what happens in Volume 7 to see if we actually truly get some reveals about just what the heck is going on with this series. So, those are my thoughts on Volume number 6 of Kagerou Daze. I'll definitely be reviewing Volume 7 when it comes out. I think it's coming out this summer, like in maybe July, I want to say, in English, but we'll see. The next review that I'm going to be doing is Volume number 2 of Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, because I kind of felt like a good little bit of a laugh. I was really torn between this one and Goblin Slayer, Volume number 2, but yeah, I couldn't resist having a bit more of a chuckle, so I decided to go with Konosuba. So that will be my next review. And if you love light novels and you're brand new here, don't forget to subscribe so you can check out all of my future light novel reviews, including future reviews of Kagerou Daze. If you want to check out some of my old videos, I've got a link there as well. Thank you for joining me in this video. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.